here at the Escarpment Sound Studios.
Yes.
So tell me about the studio. How did you start?
How did I start? Years
Yeah.
ago, you mean?
Years ago, yeah.
I was a guitar player in
Okay.
a band and played the bar circuit and everything all around this area, actually. And grew up in Georgetown, which is about 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And I was a guitar player, a bass player, then a guitar player, and really got into equipment, recording on small little machines and stuff. And whenever we would play, I'd be the one with the mixing board and the speakers and
Okay.
getting into that side of it. And so in the late 70s, I decided I wanted to go to school for something that could do with audio. And so I found a course at Sheridan College in Oakville, and it was media arts, so that's film and audio and AV and all those things combined together. And so I took that. It was a 3-year course, and I ended up majoring in audio. They had a recording studio there in the basement, so I worked with a lot of bands there at that time. So then I graduated around 1980 and got a job at a studio in Oakville called Soundpath, and they were doing a lot of commercials that were on the radio and on TV, and doing bands and stuff. But it was a lot of commercials. It was like a factory just churning out.
Oh, okay. Churning out jingles.
Yeah, jingles all the time. So it was a really good spot to start, and I was an assistant there for a while, and then became an engineer.
Oh, okay.
So I was there for about 6 or 7 years, I think, and started working with other bands at other studios as a freelance engineer, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided I wanted to build my own place and see if I could make a go of it. So I had a house in Acton on the main street, and I built a building out back. So a little studio was 14 feet by maybe 30 feet long. So not huge, but just big enough that I could do some stuff.
Make it work, yeah.
Yeah, and I started that and got some bands coming in, and my big break was I had Stompin' Tom Connors come in and do about 3 albums there.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Nice.
so, and that sort of got me more work and got me credibility with people.
Oh, okay.
And so then it became, the studio was too small at that point. I needed more room. Plus it didn't have a washroom, so everybody had to keep going in the house to use the washroom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Things like that. So I was looking for some property. I always wanted to be in the country. So I went just outside of Acton by Erin and found 24 acres of property with an old barn on it that needed some work, a stone barn.
Oh, nice.
And so I built that up. It was like a 3,000 square foot building. So we had a huge studio in there, and
That's pretty cool.
really nice tall ceilings, and really nice because of the stone. Stone's really nice for sound.
Is it really?
Because
Okay.
it bounces erratically all over the place instead of like drywall.
Oh, where it's all the same. Yeah.
So it was a really nice sounding room, and I had the studio for probably 25 years there,
Okay.
and did lots and lots of projects, like hundreds of bands, about 6 or 7 more Stompin' Tom Connors CDs, and
Really nice.
and worked with all kinds of bands from the city and all around Guelph, Kitchener, all this area north. And then about 5 years ago, decided to sell that property and downscale a bit, and found this property up here. And I'm just renting this actually off the fellow that owns it, and so
Okay.
it's working out very well. We're kind of partners in the business, and this has actually got some more features that I didn't have before. It's got the lounge and the full kitchen.
Right.
It's got
yeah.
the bedrooms, which I didn't have before, for bands to
Gotcha.
stay over.
Yeah. So if they're coming for a whole week or a whole weekend, they can lock themselves in here until the recording's done.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
Yep, and so yeah, I've been doing it about 35 years and just love working with music. That's why I keep doing it.
That's
So,
amazing. Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of times there's really late hours, and there's no days off sometimes. And
Really.
it's
Yeah.
kind of weird that way for a social life, but
Right. Yeah. Well, musicians seem to operate at all hours.
Yes.
More or less, they're not really 9 to 5 people. At least
Yeah.
I find.
and I have to work almost every weekend because most people work during the week.
We're gonna come over on the weekend to work on more stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you have any specific genres that you're centered on, or do you see a little bit of everything coming through?
I get a lot of everything. A lot of it is I mean, a lot of rock stuff and a lot of country, sort of folky stuff. Also a lot people, because I'm in the country, we used to get a lot of the folky kind of stuff too.
Oh, okay,
Because,
nice.
because the atmosphere here, it's private and there's windows in the studio so you can see outside.
Oh, okay,
which
gotcha.
And if you're in the city, the studio usually doesn't have windows. You can't. Because
I see.
you can't
Yeah.
keep the sound in or out.
You can't keep it contained. Yeah. So it lends itself to a bit of a different vibe in that sense. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we have all the genres here. Some rock bands, punk bands, country.
Nice.
I even do spoken word books, like
Seriously.
for Amazon.com. I did a whole bunch
Really?
last year,
Nice.
just spoken word stuff. So
Oh wow.
whatever needs to be recorded.
It can be done.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have, of all the people that came through, do you have any favorites or anyone that kind of stood out?
One of my favorite albums is a fellow from Africa, and he did a rock album with African influences, African beats and
Ooh,
percussion,
nice.
and I kind of wrote a lot of the album with him. And,
Oh really?
yeah, we had a really nice thing going. That was one of my favorites to work on. Trev John was his name.
Trev John.
Yeah,
nice.
that was neat. But there's been a whole bunch of stuff that's really great. There's a lot of great musicians around that nobody's ever heard of, and they're so talented, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't get anywhere. They're still just playing little clubs. But the
Yeah.
Guelph area in Kitchener is full of talented musicians.
Yeah, that have a lot to show. I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me about the analog recorder you have. How
We
does that
have,
work?
I actually have two analog recorders. One's not here right now, so I have two 2-inch machines. One of
Mhm.
them's that one which you took a picture of, and I also have a Studer, which is a lot taller and a lot heavier than that one. And
Oh, okay.
It's at the studio in Toronto.
Okay, nice.
And for people who don't know, the 2-inch machines were very expensive machines back in the day. They were. The Studer was $80,000 brand new,
Oh, serious.
and that machine I think was $40,000. So to buy machines was a big outlay of money.
Pretty big investment.
And we have a lot of analog gear here, and we also have the computer set up. So we do a mixture of the two all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I mostly am using an analog console
Mhm.
and all this analog gear that's in these racks. So I can run through all this gear, and then it goes through converters and into the computer.
I see.
And then,
Okay.
then it comes back out of the computer when I'm done, and I can actually mix it all here, being played back
Onto the console.
from the computer.
Okay, nice.
So that way we're mixing the two worlds of analog and digital,
Gotcha.
which
Yeah.
is what a lot of people like. Because if you were just working in a computer, your little mixer would be inside the computer,
Be in the computer, yeah.
and you just do everything there. But
Mhm.
all they're showing you in the computer is everything that we have here, right? It's just showing you the mixer that we actually have.
Right, but in actual physical form.
Yes.
Okay, nice. That's really cool. So is there a sound difference then between doing it digital versus doing it analog or even mixed?
Yes, there's a big sound difference.
Oh, okay, how so?
Lots of times when you're just mixing inside the computer, it seems to have a bit of a harsher sound and not as open and wide.
Interesting, okay.
I mean, this makes sense. If you have a computer and a program, you could have the whole thing going for $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a console like this was $100,000.
Really?
All this outboard gear is usually about $1,000 or $2,000 for each piece.
A piece, yeah.
So there has to be a sound difference when you're running through all this stuff,
Gotcha.
because it's made to handle all of these different inputs and have wider headroom, it's called, so you can go without distorting. And
Oh, I see.
so if I did the exact same song and mixed it in the computer and then mixed it through here, I would hear a difference when I mix it through here.
There'd be a quality difference.
It's going to be a quality difference.
Interesting, yeah, because I guess all the hardware is dedicated to handle the sound, as
Yeah.
opposed to a computer that's running a software.
Like
that,
a computer can do it, but it's, like I said, it's only $1,000 or $2,000
worth of gear.
of
Yeah,
gear. So you'd hope all this other stuff is going to.
it's gonna make a
Make a
difference.
difference.
Yeah,
But most people can't afford all this, so that's why the computer market is so huge.
it is huge because the accessibility.
And it's so great because everybody can do stuff at home, right?
For sure, yeah.
Tinker
everyone can
around
experiment.
forever. Because back in the old days, if you wanted to do a demo, you had to come to a studio.
Come to a studio, yeah.
There was no way around it.
Mhm.
And you had to, get a few $100s and demo your song. And
You're right, not just record it on your phone or
Yeah.
something at the.
yeah, none of that was
yeah.
around before, so people had to go to studios.
Gotcha.
So-
nice.
a downside to that is almost all the studios have closed down.
Really? Because I guess the people don't really do the demos as much.
Yeah, there's no demo, I don't get any demo business at all hardly, and even the people making CDs, you can make one at home, sort of. So,
Right, yeah.
the whole market is just totally changed.
Has been kind of flipped. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the only reason I'm still getting a lot of work is because of the size of the big room. So
Mhm.
people can't do drums at home, I find, so they need a place to get
Right.
good drum sounds.
Mhm.
Or they don't have all the headphone mixers and stuff to do a
Right.
proper playback that way, so
I see.
if
Yeah.
they're looking for proper recording equipment that way, they need to come to a bigger studio.
They still need to come for the final product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. That
Actually, I
makes sense.
find a lot of my work now is split. People will come here and do their drums and stuff, but then take it home and do all the little things, the vocals and guitar solos. And
Oh, I see. Okay.
because they
all
can
the
do that at
mingling.
home. You
Oh,
don't
gotcha.
usually need a big room for a lot of those things.
Mhm.
Just a nice microphone or something.
Right. Yeah.
But to get the drums at home is almost impossible. So lots
Yeah, I
of
can
times I'll
imagine.
just have people come in, do a whole bunch of drums, and take it home.
I see.
And then they
Okay.
might get me to mix it when they're all done.
When it's all done, I see. I see.
Yeah. So that's sort of how things have changed. So most of this analog gear is just compressors and preamps and effects, which are all now built into the computer programs that you have for music. But before the computers, we had to have a piece for everything that we wanted to do.
Every single component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like this here is a stereo compressor,
Okay.
just to compress a bass and a bass drum, let's say.
Right. Okay. And how would it handle all the channels, or would you need
Just 2 channels.
just the two channels? So if you need more channels than that, you need more compressors.
That's why you see racks and racks of things.
Racks and racks of stuff. Okay. Wow.
Like now on a computer, I can pull out a plug-in and put that same plug-in on 48 channels.
And however many you need.
Once I bought that plug-in, I can use it
It's gonna work.
50 times. But with this stuff, you buy it and you don't use it on 2 things.
Only- Oh
or
my
or
God.
1 thing most of the time.
Nice. So what else do you have?
So
on the
there,
setup?
a lot of them are, these are compressors and those are compressors. Compressors, what, squishes the signal down so you can
Mhm.
get more of it onto the tape
Yeah.
or onto the computer. There's multi-effects programs, so that would be delays and reverbs and echoes. This is tube EQ. So tube stuff is what a lot of people are going for nowadays, because anything that runs through a tube is sort of like a warmer
Has
sound.
the warmer feel. Yeah.
It's like from the old days.
Okay. So this would be mostly for. I guess would it be for any kind of recording or just guitars?
It's for any kind.
Okay.
If you feel like you want that sound and you run through these things. So what I like to do is bring all my microphones in on the console. Then the patch bay lets me plug into anything that I have here.
Each one of the racks.
The patch bay is like the back of every piece of gear.
I see.
So that's the ins and outs of everything. So they're all wired to here.
I see. And then that basically relays the signal between the console and the actual.
So I never have to get in behind any of these things.
And plug unplug.
All the
Okay.
plugs are here with these little cables.
Oh, that's amazing.
So anytime I bring a microphone in, and if I want to run through any of these pieces of gear, I just plug it in here
Yeah.
and then record it to the computer.
That is really great.
So that way it gets an analog sound, but then it gets into the computer.
But you still get the control of the computer. And
Yeah.
That's great.
And then obviously the computer is great for editing and all the things that you can do with
Because
it.
you don't have to like sit there cut tape and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we used to
Like,
have to cut tape.
they have to do that.
With a razor blade, if you wanted to cut out a section of a song, you had to cut it with a razor
Have to
blade.
cut it. Wow. So how do you know? I guess how do you know if you're getting it right? You just listen to the tape over and over until you get the
Yeah,
specific spot.
it's called rocking it. You would rock the tape over the heads and hear the beat.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you would mark it with a China marker on the tape.
And then just snip it.
And then cut it with a razor blade. There's actually a bar on that machine. I don't know if you saw it on the front that you
Oh,
cut
okay.
on. You see that on the very front?
I do. Yeah. Okay. So you just use that to slice it.
Yeah, you put the tape in there and then you follow that pattern with your blade and
Oh wow.
slice it, and there's special tape to cut,
To
glue the two pieces
glue it
together.
back together. That's amazing.
Yeah,
So I guess what happens if you just cut it in the wrong spot, just like
you have to put it back together.
Really? And then recut.
Yes,
Wow.
so editing used to take it.
It used to be a mission.
Now you just do an undo on the computer and try again.
And then try again. Control Z it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's beautiful.
perfect, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. That was very insightful.
Good.
Awesome to meet you.